to all of you. Is it visible?
Yeah, Mahesh.
Okay. So let us start with, I think yesterday we discussed about different types of prompting and why prompt is so important. We given an example like the director is the prompt, the actor actress like who is performing is your GenAI solution, and it will give you some control guided output. It will not allow you to deviate from whatever your expected result that you are expecting from the prompt. But while doing so, there are several types of prompting techniques is available in the market. We talked about that. Very basic way is a zero shot prompting. Someone can use one shot also. Short means here how many types of examples you are going to give inside the prompt so that the models can behave accordingly. Okay, so zero shot means no examples, is only giving the task and then you are utilizing it in your GenAI solution. One shot means only one example given. Basically few shot is a already the superset of this one shot. So few shot is nothing but providing few of the examples to help and guide the model to give me the output in this manner. We talked about the chain of thought where you have a lot of reasoning and step dependencies are there, and final answer you are expecting to follow by steps, something like little bit of rules are available there, and then you are getting the output. That but when we talk about in an industry, mostly the most acceptable one is the instruction based prompting, where we providing explicitly the role, the format, the constraints, the goal, and everything, and we're giving it. That is the way that we ended the class, that these are different types of prompting. Now I will ask some quick questions. Who wants to give try to give a thought, pause for it and think through and give me an answer quickly, whoever can do this. What is prompt chaining? If anybody is getting this kind of a question, you do not have to think about that lot of things you have already learned, but you can try this out now. What is called prompt chaining? Can anybody try to give an attempt? Like, what do you think in this particular statement? Prompt chaining. What do you mean by prompt chaining? Chain of thought kind of things you have already learned. So that's what I thought about to give you an example. Like when we call something is prompt chaining. Anyone can give a try? What is your
Giving
thought process here?
giving instructions.
No, 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 no. Anyone else?
Giving instructions step by step until
No. See, that is what then this is an instruction based prompting or chain of thought. I'm asking prompt chaining means something I'm asking for X chaining, Y chaining. In a programming world, it talks about chain of that particular things, means chain of prompt. That means you are going to ask LLM through a particular prompt, and it looks like the prompt size is so huge. The input prompt or the input token count is within not the limit, and you have crossed something by a standard, and you want to break that prompts into smaller prompts. So a large prompts, or basically the task inside the large prompt, is decomposed into smaller prompts and executed sequentially. So if the first prompt output is there, go and trigger that next prompt in your programming code. If that output is given, go to the third prompt, and this way the chaining will be there. So large prompt, whenever it will be broken into smaller prompts and executed sequentially, not parallelly, again I'm saying, because it has a dependency from first prompt output to the second prompt input, second prompt output to the third prompt input. So you can understand it is a sequence, it is a chain. So that is called prompt chaining. Okay.
the one you gave that example, right? Credit risk analysis.
Yeah, this is chain of thought, but here it might be in a single prompt I have covering this. If you can see this example. But on that day, I clearly mentioned somebody have missed something. Say, for example, existing EMI and other values are there that LLM is doing. But now to make that prompt is not making so large. In a programming code, prompt is nothing but a string. That string is getting so large I can break into multiple things in such a way that the first prompt output, whenever I receive, store it in a variable, use it for the second prompt, then second prompt output, store it in variable, use it for the third prompt, and that way it will continue. So this is called prompt chaining. Chain of thought prompting is nothing but a particular prompt, or might be multiple prompts also can be possible, where step by step executions are clarified inside that prompt. Prompt chaining is nothing but a large prompt broken into small pieces. That is what called a prompt chaining, and to control the sequence of workflow. Is it clear?
Yes.
Team,
Yes.
understood now? Okay, very good. So this is the reason, like, whenever you go more and more, then it will be more clear. Now there is a thing also, think in this way. Suppose I have created, you are from, okay, let's forget about that. You are a bank employee, okay, and you are responsible to ensure that nothing malicious things are happened, and customer or many ill customer or many fraudulent customer query something and get its details immediately, okay. That something security part is already not at all there, strongly robust in your system, and they hack something. So there is a concept which is called prompt injection or prompt jailbreak. Do you know what does this call about? What is this mean? When I use this call, you might have someone from this particular team might have heard SQL injection. Similarly, if you try to correlate that, what do you think what is prompt injection should be? I just given an example also, now you can come up with your answer. Are you trying? What is prompt injection could be? Anyone? Okay, let me explain again. So you have built a system which will not share, sensitive information of the customer. And a fraudulent customer reach to the bank, and he wants to hack some of the customer details. There is a chatbot available at the bank premises, and he asks something to the chatbot and get some information. Suppose he maliciously get that in the result, which is not supposed, bank is not supposed to share with anyone until and unless a real candidate is appearing. So what does this mean? That prompt injection means if you are trying to give a malicious input and attempting to override the system instruction. That means this chatbot has already provided by set with certain rules, protocols. But a malicious input, if we try to attempt, and then we try to get extract some of that system instructions is getting overridden. The loopholes of the system instructions are there, and you are able to hack the system, then it is called a prompt injection. So basically, just you can take a note how you can mitigate this. There are three things that you need to ensure, and this is a very very top class in an advanced course. You will definitely learn. There are three ways a prompt injection can be mitigated. What are those? Number one, there are three areas that if you can see that the entire prompt is working. First one, input validation. That means whatever the details you are input before it will reach to that particular LLM call, it will have a guardrail. Okay. Next one is the output filtering. Suppose LLM by default or whatever the system instruction is not so robust, it gives some output, but before it is displayed in the screen to the user, I can have a filter, I can have a guardrail, and I will block that particular sensitive info and only put a customized message to the user. Are you getting my point? Again, I'm repeating. Two things I've already told. One is that input level validation when the prompt is going to call the LLM and get the output. At that level, I have a guardrail. Another guardrail is the LLM given the responses, but before it is reaching to the screen of the user, I have a filter over there that is called output filtering. That is the terminology, output filtering. I have a guardrail over there, and I will block that the right messages or the right sensitive messages, it will not show to the screen. It will filter it out. And the last one is the instruction isolation. It is a newer technique that I have to isolate if related to the system instruction based queries are coming from any malicious prompt, I need to isolate. I need to, classify this particular query from the user or prompt from the user is actually not in sync with the instruction. So I have to isolate that one. But that is a different, very difficult technique, but we are not going to do this at this moment. So we need to understand the three different steps through which prompt injection can be mitigated. So what we have learned, what is prompt injection? A malicious input attempting by any user or system to override the correct system's instructions. That is called your prompt injection. How do you mitigate it? There are three ways to mitigate. At input level, when prompt is inserted and it is just trying to call the LLM. Before calling the LLM only, I have a guardrail. If suppose that particular guardrail is passed through, LLM gives the output. Before it will be displayed to the user, I have something called output filtering. And another technique I call this as instruction isolation. Now, prompt injection and the mitigation plan. Both of these are understood. Hello?
Yes.
Yeah.
Very good. So, are you going into these details? Because these are very common questions you will be facing in the interviews. Okay. Now, on that first day, I was just given a touch that we are doing some prompting. User is given a prompt. What do you think? What is system prompt? User prompt, you understood what you do in a chat GPT today or Gemini tomorrow, whatever you are asking is an user, as a user you are asking. So those are user prompt. What do you think? What is system prompt? What system prompt is all about? What is your in your mind? Why it is so important? What is coming into your mind?
The system will suggest the user to select like kind of auto suggestion, right? When you are
Sorry, your
typing something.
voice is not coming very clearly. Not sure it to me only or not. But can you please come again one more time?
It is a system suggestion, right? Would you like to go ahead with next step? Such kind of instructions the system itself will give, right? That's what I'm guessing.
Okay, good attempt. Anyone else? Team, please be interactive. Okay, I would request, to be honest, like I do not have to say every time and iterate this, but be interactive. Then you will learn it very easily. Maybe you are wrong. Don't bother, but you try and try, and let's see what is your thought process. User prompt. As a user, you are prompting. What is system prompt? What do you think? Hello, hello, hello. Anyone? No one? Okay, I'll give you a use case and then you tell me. A customer support, maybe use case I will take. Okay. Suppose you are a, professional customer support executive for a finance organization, banking organization, and you should respond politely and concisely whatever the queries you are getting from multiple users and all, and you do not provide any financial advice though. Okay, if you are unsure, that okay, I don't understand these things, let me get back to you after discussing my superiors, and you always maintain this formal tone. Now here multiple times I have told many such things, like you are a professional customer support executive of banking organization, you are responding that word I use politely and concisely, you do not provide financial advice. If you are unsure that what kind of questions are coming to me, I should go and answer, before I am going to answer I should talk to my superior and get back to you. And I always maintain something like, you can understand from this entire statement that I need to behave like a formal tone. Okay. Now this is one area, correct? Whatever I told, this is one kind of scenario that I need to do. And then suddenly a user called Ramen is coming into the bank and he's asking, I want to close my savings account, what should I do? Then what you are expecting that particular system should do now? The model will respond like a trained bank support agent, like someone is a very trained. if he's asking towards an IVR or any system, and a trained bank support agent will call, not even in a casually way, like it will try to say like what could be the reason why you are thinking so, how the bank can help you to do this, these are the steps to procedures you need to close before doing this, you have some engagements with the bank, you have to close that before and then go move, take this decision. All this formally in a tone guided way it will be doing. Now here two scenarios I have given. One, that you are a formal customer support executive. Another one, the candidate Ramen, who is asking a query. So out of this, the query asked by Ramen and the scenario as I told on the before, between these two, whom you consider is a system prompt and whom you consider as an user prompt? Anyone?
Second one, Rame is the system prompt. IVR process, it will be.
Sorry, I didn't get that. Second one you are saying is a system prompt. When Raman is asking, I need to close my bank account. Correct?
Yes, yes. Yes, correct.
Okay. Okay. Anyone give an attempt? Do you agree what he
With-
mentioned?
I think even before Ramesh asks the LLM about all these questions, and it has to be fed with what tone it should answer in these situations. So basically, the LLM should be trained, or it should be, it should be fed with these instructions that what tone it should behave. Probably that is what the system prompt is.
Fantastic. So you are bang on. So always remember the difference between system prompt and user prompt by seeing different prompting. If if that defines how to behave is a system prompt. If it defines what I have to do or what to do is an user prompt, because user prompt is dynamic in nature. You never expect what kind of queries it will come. It can be asked for anything. Today I am asking for service closer. Tomorrow I have another one. Hey, I still have some, some fund available there and it is blocked for XYZ, deposits scheme. Can I close the bank account? So questions are varied. Questions are there. These are dynamic in nature. You cannot have a control. Where you can control, where you can make sure your system should behave and be ready with whatever the different kind of scenarios are there. If it is under the known rules, it will provide answer. If it is not within the known rules, it will not at all provide the answer. So system prompt is something which defines how to behave. User prompt is something that defines what to do. Okay, again I'm giving another example, then it will be closed. Suppose you are a medical information assistant. Okay, just think of it. You are a medical information assistant. You provide only general health information. Okay, you do not diagnose. You are not going to prescribe also that medication that is required for your current health condition. You advise the users to consult, and from a licensed physician maybe, or you are asking for go to this particular list of common parameter check in terms of some to helpful for the treatment decisions. This is one kind of a prompt. Another prompt is there. Hey, I have a headache every morning, what should I do? Now, do you think, are you getting the differences between these two, the above one and the below one, which I'm talking about? The earlier one, which I talked about, is something like a professional way that I have make my system to behave accordingly. So the system should behave like a medical information assistant. It will provide some general health information. It is not going to diagnose or immediately give a prescription to you. It is just advice, consult to that XYZ doctor according to your symptom and some common health parameter check. If you want to quickly check at home or to the nearest diagnosis center, go and do it. That is what only it is doing. That is the behavior you are expecting from a system. You are not taking the entire liability of that activity. Tone is polite. That is your system prompt. Whereas the next question I ask, I have a headache every morning. What should I do? What should I take? Those kind of things are coming abruptly, not in kind of a ruled way. Kind of something like it is so dynamic. It's so abrupt, so absurd something that is coming. Those are called user prompt. Now everyone is understood what is system prompt and what is user prompt. So mostly while doing the programming code, again I'm repeating, Mostly while you are developing the code, you will be providing the system prompting, because you want your LLM should behave or respond accordingly. Your application should behave accordingly. Whatever the types of prompting I'm showing here, mostly my target is to, while developing the solution, should use a system prompting. That is why my LLM will do. But whenever the solution is ready, somebody is want to test this solution, I have to test it with my user prompt. Are you now getting the differences? Because that day itself, if I say immediately like this is system prompt, this is user prompt, you will be confused. But I started the day saying that earlier, like you or whatever is writing is a prompt. Prompt is prompt. Today you are typing something to the ChatGPT, is that one. But ChatGPT should behave and answer this way. Might be somewhere that behavior is described. Might be somewhere that instruction is clearly mentioned. And that kind of prompting is called which prompting? How the system will behave, that prompting is called user prompt or system prompt. Are you getting?
Yes.
It is system prompt, right? How system will behave is a system prompt. When you develop a solution, developer provides that some prompting to that particular system is system prompting. But whenever a end user is using that application and asking some queries, something, some text it is inserted and getting some response, that questions that user is putting is your user prompt. So in a development team, suppose you develop a solution and a QA guy is there who is, validating that particular solution. So who is using system prompting and who is using user prompting? Hello? Are you getting? Today I'm not getting proper responses. Is there any issue that you are not understanding this, team? You are getting my point, right? I'm saying in a organization there is a complete development team full of developers, BA, QA is there. You develop the solution, a LLM based application, and QA need to validate the application is robust or not. Out of this, who use system prompt and who are using user prompt?
Development team uses
Development team. Yeah.
the
Development.
system prompt, and the
Yes,
QA team will use the which
that's
one?
it. You are known. So today in ChatGPT, whatever the prompt you are doing, is it system prompt or user prompt?
User prompt.
Fantastic. You are aware of.
And
Are you taking the liability that how ChatGPT should behave? Now drastically change his output tone, everything immediately? No, you are forcing though from your user prompt, but how ChatGPT will respond, this control and everything, somewhere it lies. Somewhere that prompting should be there. Somewhere some applications how it behaves, it is there in somewhere that control.
And regarding this thing, one right, we are seeing so many chatbots are there, right? In a
Correct,
banking application, right?
correct,
So we are
correct,
it is giving when we said hi, it is giving list of options. That
correct.
is predefined options is nothing but system
Correct.
prompts.
Absolutely, you are right. You today you say hi, somebody has say hi, bro, and somebody may say like, "Oh, okay, how may I help you?" These are the list of options for you. Fantastic, good examples. Now you are correlating.
And also, best example is nowadays when we are going for the metro, right? We are using that through WhatsApp. We are booking that tickets. So
Hmm.
when you give hi in a WhatsApp message for the metro number, it is
Correct.
giving the list of options that what how
Correct.
can I help you that whether you want to buy a e-ticket or you want to guide any route.
Absolutely. That is what you are already in. That is what I'm saying. That something which is like how system should behave, that somewhere in the programming, somewhere in the code, somewhere in this entire solution is defined. The rules are set. The prompting, if they use a prompt also though, in that case, that prompting is your system prompting. But what you are querying, what normal user or end user is querying, is your user prompt. So now, hopefully, from now today onwards, just write, go into the chat, say, no, I will not forget, or might be not forget. That the keyword you should use, because this causes a lot of trouble. This causes even a kind of a war inside a development team. Hey, I should use an user prompt, but people doesn't know like where to use, how to use, which kind, in a few short, I'm going little bit deeper, I'm sorry for that, in a few short. In a few short, whatever the examples you will set at the prompt itself, you are writing a system prompt in few short also, but the examples whatever you will give, if a customer asks this way, I am going to respond this. If a customer having a tone like an excellent product, I should respond this way. If a customer is asking this particular question in a double quote, this question double quote, that is your user prompt. So system prompt sometimes give some examples in their prompt itself, some of the user prompt, so that the LLM should learn from that particular behavior and act accordingly. And the system prompt is helping to control and guide the system's responses. I hope you all now understood what is system prompt, what is called user prompt. You understood prompt injection. You understood how to mitigate the prompt injection as well. So some key of the interview topics we discussed now. Let us move to the next one. That is called prompt template. This is a blueprint, folks, and this works in the industry very well. Top organizations like Google, Microsoft, they uses this. So there is no question about, hey, can I remove some of this? Yes, you can. Can I adjust something here and there? Yes, you can. But this is a rule book. This is a blueprint. These are the areas that any particular prompting techniques we should apply. Okay, any whatever the prompt you are going through. Basically, what in the industry we use is an instruction based. So that is why, depending on that only, this entire 5 different sections inside a prompt is expected, and LLM could respond better. Not too much verbose in your prompt, but at least sharp, to the point techniques that is applied here with different sections of prompt. This is a prompt template. This is your blueprint. The very first topic is the role definition. What do you mean by the role definition? So role means what? I given some of the example of your system prompt just now. You are a customer support expert or executive. You are a medical information assistant. These are role. These are persona. Why this is needed? Because you need to understood that your particular large language model, whether it is OpenAI or Gemini, it might have been seen or might have been experienced the historical data with several roles. So I want to filter that LLM should think only for this type of role. LLM should give me the responses as if it only doing looking into those set of data which are related to that role. Like an example here is given, you are a clinical AI assistant. So it will only try to check somebody who assists the doctor in a surgery, or someone who is assisted doctor to also a board of doctors, like there are senior doctor, junior doctors is there, somebody who act as a junior doctor for a senior doctor, how it would be there. Somebody in a diagnosis center is assisting to the main the expert who is taking your blood, who is doing the x-ray. That assistant I'm doing. Some general queries I can answer. So that is the rule I'm saying. By doing this, what it is getting excluded, it is excluding a large set of data. If I'm not specifying the role, that entire, the medical or healthcare solution, there are a lot of other things are there. There is someone called pharmacist. There is someone who will be something a radiologist. I'm not going to do a specific that things. So that kind of data set I need not to look. That is what LLM is going to get a hint from my prompt. You behave like this, and then you are going to talk about the instruction or task or whatever you call it. So role definition, it's nothing but it assigns some specific persona or expertise to the model to guide the reasoning style, as if like a domain should behave in this way. Next is task specification, which is already some or more we are already doing. It actually, that is the only difference is whatever you were doing today, now onwards you will be doing in this manner. You are clearly defines what action the model must perform, what outcome it must produce. Okay, not too much sentences, because input token cost is also getting high. That means it will cause you a trouble. Just put the actual statement, what it actually need from this particular activities or task. Don't repeat the statement. Somebody think about, okay, if I repeat 2-3 times, then LLM will not forget. Maybe you are right, but I will tell you are completely wrong, because the one time if you give a fine, dedicated, robust, very simple, sharp, to the point context of your task specification, LLM is more than enough to respond correctly. I can guarantee, means I've seen this, I've experienced this, I tried this same topic multiple times. If I iterative the answers and the same topic multiple times, and not iterating, but one time with a sharp context, it gives a very good result. So go ahead with the task specification that you understood now. Context. Now, task is important, role is important, but context is equally important. See here, if you can see, you are a clinical AI assistant. Now here the next task, it is saying provide a diagnosis based on the lab result. But when I giving a context, right? That context is something, the context is where it is needed. I'll tell you. It will provide some, background, the relevant background, so that I can understand the data. I can understand the situational input, that whatever I am injecting, I can understand that what kind of accurate response I'm going to generate. So it is just give a particular brief statement about that whatever actually you are trying to do. Task is activities. Context is the background. Again, I'm repeating. Role is persona. Task is list of activities one after another, whatever you expect. Third is context. Context means you are providing some relevant background, so that it LLM could understood, with this role, with this task, I need to behave in this way. Next one is output format control, which is very important, because you specify how the response should be structured. Sometimes you need a tabular details. Sometimes you need something a JSON way. Sometimes you need some bulleted information, right? You can give some examples also in this section, that I need the responses in this manner, like a keyword value pair, table formation in a JSON way. Could you please give me something, a PDF generated output? Could you please give me some DOCS generated output, Excel output, CSV output, PDF, slide deck, or might be a bulleted content, or might be numbered bullets. So those are nothing but you are controlling the output format. That is what you are going to do. The last one, as I told, is a guided one. Every solution have some guidance, have something that before I thought about the system would behave abruptly, I should put some strict rules, strict constraints. Something like I'm setting some boundary, that the boundary talks about you should not cross this boundary, you should not cross this limitation, coordinate with whatever that roles, task, context, output is there, along with knowing this boundary. So that is what the constraints or rules are equally important. Okay. Say for example, here the example given, use only the provided context if unsure, say insufficient data. You got that example right in the system prompt, as I told. If I unsure, let me get back to my superior and come back to you in another 48 hours or 24 hours. This means what? There is some constraint. I am not going to answer as if, like, if you are not putting the constraints, they will try to give an answer. You have seen multiple times in an LLM that whatever you are asking, it is giving an answer. Might be the answer is not right. You are again asking, could you please revise? No, I am not happy. It will again try. Again, it is not happy. It is keep on trying, and sometimes it get passed, then means passed. But if you put these particular things or iterations in a single one, don't give me an answer on XYZ basis. At least you should say me like I am not able to provide a solid answer in and around that. That is okay. That is your constraint. That is that those are the rules that you are applying in your prompting. Is it clear to everyone? Understood? These 5 things you are going to use in your prompt, or basically in system prompting. You will understand like what are these areas even when we go to the project activity. But you understood these are the 5 different components of a very good prompt. This is your prompt template. This is your blueprint. Yes, team, understood? Any
Yes.
question here?
No.
Good. Let us see some of that, prompt template that has been used. I've given some simple scenarios. You can go through it later on. By clicking on this prompt, you will see like similar kind of details whatever we discussed is available. I do not want to waste the time here. Probably that particular doc you will be receiving today itself, and check to that, go to that particular prompt and try it from your own. Okay, if this is not clickable, it is not coming out, I will separately send to the admin. I would request you to send those two prompts to them individually also. Okay, this is a scenario, and what kind of prompt is written following that prompt template is these are the examples. Is it clear? There is no confusion, because once you see the prompt, you will understand the sections, you will understand this. But again, why I'm not wasting time here. During your project, you will see similar kind of techniques. I'll apply one after another by writing prompt in front of you, not going anywhere. Okay, so that's the thing. Okay, let us move to our next discussion for this module to close. Is something like Streamlit. We will go now towards the development from next week onwards for this entire Gen AI based project. But before that, I know that our main intention is not to be an UI expert, and even me, Kalyan, and not coming from that background that we are very good UI expert. But what happens, as part of the development team, when these Gen AI agentic AI solutions are coming, at some moments you need to show to your team, to your managers, that something is working. And when manager is seeing a black screen that triggering something and gets worked, sometimes that particular deal is not on. If a client is seeing some demo, if the demo is given in a black screen by triggering some code and getting some responses, and you are getting tough time to explain whatever that console log is coming, this is not always good idea. So with the evolution of this Gen AI, agentic AI, there is this Streamlit IO. They have started with this kind of fancy UI in a Python way that you can use it. Those are Python related, statements are there. You can use it. So it's a Python library called Streamlit has been developed, which will facilitate, the creation and development of your UI. Some custom based web applications I'm talking about. Okay. What it actually helps, as I told, data science or machine learning developers are earlier days were facing some trouble to show that how this application works, right? If there is no interfaces, then what the problem occurs, that cannot explain it in a better way, that people, whenever you talk about a problem statement, immediately who are listening to you, the client, the evaluator, is already trying to imagine that this is somehow the application should look like. And whenever you try to something you are imagining, you are not imagining text in your mind. Try out, you could not even imagine a text in your mind. Even if you are imagining a text, you will be thinking like it is a part of a good nice piece of paper, colorful paper, black and white paper, and that is what I'm getting the text. So everywhere our imaginary things come with some little bit of view of something that you can be visible, that can be visually appealing. And that is why this streamlet comes into the play, and it will give you something very good cool stuff in UI. There are a lot of widgets are used. You can create some fancy web pages. If you want to master on this, there are several ways, several tutorials are available. But as I told, whatever is limited things we have to understand, that we will take. Whatever the things you need to develop for something, this UI, I'm telling you 100%, if you write the prompt in ChatGPT itself, the code, whatever you will receiving from ChatGPT, is more than enough to utilize immediately. So I do not want that from this particular team. If you are really interested in UI, I have no questions. You can go ahead with a complete course of web development. But if you are the geek of data science, machine learning, expert in Gen AI, and you want to use some little bit of cool stuff of the UI, at least some basic knowledge you should have it in Streamlit. And that is why before going to the project, I started with this Streamlit kind of an training to you, that you can utilize it, and let's see how quickly it can be done. So the very first thing, as I told, it is a Python library. Python libraries can be installed by the pip command that you are already aware of, we have already done in the classes of Python. So pip install Streamlit, you can see there it is written. So Streamlit is the library name. Okay. And if once the application that whatever you will be developing, the development is done, you are running that particular application, that it will be giving you some localhost based UI. It looks like an HTML page, it will come. It is Streamlit, then space run, and this whatever your application code is there. Simply nothing but this is a Python code. So something your app.py or your script.py. So again, I'm saying Streamlit is nothing but a Python library. What it is actually does, it will help you to the development of a very cool stuff of web, utilizing certain widgets. How it will be helping? It will explain that workflow. It will explain that how that program works in terms of visually. That this is where I upload a file. This is where I choose some radio button. This is why I put some input, and I will get a response. And don't get panic, it is not so difficult, it is very easy to understand, very easy to learn. Even though if you are struggling, you are not going out from the market, it is just simply you are trying to catch hold of this UI, how it looks like. Then you can try with ChatGPT, get the code and use it. You don't need to be deeper, but you should be knowing something from the Streamlit. Let's move on. The widgets, as I told, there are a lot of documentations, official documentation available. Streamlit.io, that website, if you go, you will find lot of areas like it talks about the components. But I prefer in a different way. I will start with a simple coding first, and from there you can learn how the Streamlit is used in your code. Okay. The most significant categories that usually I use mostly, the text element, the input widgets, like how we can put some input, some layout sometime, visualization of data and graphs, which is a little bit of an advanced one, and additional elements. And you can see that how that particular object of Streamlit is called st.title. Means if I am not even going, we know the title means if I use a document, whenever you are typing any document, writing a document, you have to always give a title. So application title you can give through this st.title. How it looks, don't worry. In a moment it will come. Markdown is something like a styled rainbow header or something you can do. Not so much of useful. That fancy, even client is not expecting. Radio button sometimes you use for single selection, important. Multiple selection, you can see how easy it is. Just st.radio, st.multiselect. Then how the input is given, I will show something like that. St.number input means you are taking a number only, not any string or anything. St.slider, something you can slide like a progress bar. St.progress is also there. St.button is there to trigger some event. So this way the Streamlit occurs. So let us start with a simple coding. 1 second. But before that, any questions from anyone? Hello? Any questions, team? No
Looks
question.
like they all wants to see the code now. Enough of theory. Let's get on to the practical, I
Let us
guess.
go into the practical code. Huh? Okay, let's see. Okay, so the basic things, like if you have seen, like basic things I can develop in now in through Streamlit simply, not Gen AI code. Again, I'm saying it is just to give familiar with you something related to the Streamlit app that you can utilize. So I just put something called maybe calculator.py. In my system, Streamlit is already installed, so I am not going to do that. So we can use, right, an import statement in a Python is a keyword to load the external models. So I'm just giving everything to you. Import means you are, what I can say, this is a keyword to import external modules. Okay. Then sometimes if I use something called, suppose I'll do it as st. What is this called? St means is an alias. Alias means you can think about, this is something, a shortcut name I am going to use for easier usage. Okay? That is what I do. So that's something I have to write import Streamlit as st. That is what you are going to use. This statement talks about this. Then you always need a title of that particular application, as we have understood there. st dot, you can see lot of widgets are already coming here with this. So I am going to use the title, and I can say, let us give a fancy name, Math Genie. Okay, this is what you are going to use the title. Okay, now while doing the calculation can do a lot of operations. So I can use operations or operation, at least one at a time I can do an operation, so don't use the plural one. So st dot radio, I want to use the radio button, and there might be I can give something called a hint, like a level of that radio button. What is that called? Choose your operation. Very simple. I just say choose your operation, then might be colon. These are something like this. Then I can give a list of operations within an array. What are those? I can use addition. I can, sorry, I can use subtraction. Okay. I can use multiplication. Okay. And division. That's it. So this is the syntax, the way like you give a label and then list up the items wherever you can see, like a radio button, you can imagine, start imagining. Addition, before that there will be a round circle that you can choose and do it. Okay. That is the way that radio button is means about. Subtraction, there is a radio button, you can choose something. Now I have to take in whatever the operations I have to do, I have to take some input. Say for example, number one. Okay. Num1 is the input. The input for the number only, I have already shown you. There is something called number input, and then similar like an input function only. So I just give enter fast number. Sometimes you want in a particular field value, you might have seen by default some value will be displayed. So I given a value something called 0.0. That means even you are not giving any number, by default some value is showing there. Okay, this is my first number. Similar way, I do not have to waste the time here. I just put here, give the second number. So I am doing for only the two numbers in this case. Enter second number. Got it? And I will show you there is one criteria there. It is a much beautiful things. Whenever you put a number input, by default, there is something an incremental and decremental HTML actions are available within Streamlit. It is a very cool stuff. You will get it. Now, the important functionality is this. Whenever you do something called a button, okay, that if I have to button, I have to use something called calculate, right? This is the name of the button. I'm just giving, and I'm saying to calculate. Now this operation, if I choose, that means if operation, if you can see there was a variable at the top, if I am choosing that value called addition, correct? Then what is going to do? You know the result. Oh, what happened? Equal to. No, operation equal to where it is. Oh my God. Okay, sorry. Then what I'm going to do, I have to keep the result in this and say num1 plus num2. It is something like, you are going and going with the different things that you want to act on that particular operation. If operation equal to, say for example, equal to, say for example, the same name I have to use. Addition is correct. Subtraction, if you misspell here, it will be then difficult. Okay, that is what I'm taking here. Subtraction, then what you are going to do, you are saying result is equal to num1 minus num2. And should I use if here? Nobody have mentioned like why I'm using if, because it is continuing, right? What I should use, is it if or elif? Getting my point, what I'm saying? Okay, now result equal to what happened? Sorry, my bad. Okay, num1 and num2. Okay. Now next one is for the multiplication. I just copy this, come there, come there. Okay. This and this. This is multiplication. This one symbol will be changed with the star. But again, I need to ensure that my spelling, if it is wrong over there, at the below it will be different. Okay. Then there is division. Take this one and change it to this. And then, okay. But here, if division is there, I want two condition because division is little bit different. So if I say num2 not equal to 0, then that means result will be num1 by num2. Okay. Else I have something called error message that cannot divide by 0. Can't divide by 0. Okay. Getting my point? What I'm saying here? Because if it is getting in this way, it will never be stopped. Cannot be divided by 0. And I want to stop here also, like a kind of a break statement. Otherwise, it will cause a trouble. It will continue that action. So this is one we are getting. Now everything is come onto the display part. So this section is nothing but how you will display in the UI. So what you can do is very simple thing is there is something called sp dot success. That is the success message you want to give. You are formatting that one and saying, say for example, result is nothing but how the result is
Kalyan,
coming.
you have given a space for num2 actually in the result.
Oh, sorry. Thank you.
No
Yes.
worries.
Yeah, thank you so much. So now I'm giving a result, right? That I have to put that result now in a success. And then if result is greater than 0, you there is some fancy cool stuff is there. You might have used this or not, I don't know. That some balloons will be coming. Okay. This is something a widget. Don't do this one as a practice in your coding later on. But I will show that professional way that coding that we'll do in a later classes. But if the result is 0, you know the result. What you are going to print is t.info. You are giving an info message. Something called wow. Oh my OMG. I didn't. Might be I can put what I can say. I didn't do anything. Still, result is 0. That's what you can say. Then you can say else all things are done. Then you can say some warning. If nothing is there, you can say, because sometimes what happens, you do some negative activity, can be getting a negative result. Oops. Okay. That is what you are trying to do here in this app. So let's see what we have done. I imported that particular library. I given the title of that application. I'm saying the operations can do 4 things. First I get for first number, next I get the second number according to the button when you click calculate, depending on the above choice. If operation have chosen addition, then do the addition, subtraction, do the subtraction, multiplication, do the multiplication, division. If the number 2 is not 0, then you do the normal division. If it is 0, say cannot divide by 0. That's what you are saying, and you are stopping it there. Success is the result that you will be showing, getting it, and then that is also kind of a print statement. And then if the result is greater than 0, something like a balloons are coming. Otherwise, you have a else statement going on. That result is equal to 0. That you are saying, oh, I did not do any operation; it's still 0. else st warning is that, like if there is something a negative result, because in negative minus you are subtracting a large number from, sorry, small number from a large number, sorry, large number from a small number, then you'll get a negative responses. Then what you are going to do is, as I told, to run this application, oh, I have to save it, control SSS, streamlit, run. What I told, I have to use the application name. What is the application name? calcu calculated.py. Let's see how it opens. Okay, allow this time. Okay, sorry, what is happening here?
And 32 is that f of something you have given? Is that intended, Kalyan?
Which
Line
one?
number 32. Line number 32.
You see, result name
Yeah.
not defined.
That is the error actually.
Oh, that is the error came. Again, I was just in a hurry. Where it
There
is?
was a typo. 32, line number 32. Before result, yeah,
Huh?
before result, just before result, after the success and bracket, you
Huh?
have
Where it is? Before
before
result
result
means?
there is F actually.
Oh, okay. If is the formatted one, okay? That is
Okay,
something, the
okay,
result, how that it will be formatted. Okay,
okay.
that
That
is
is
what it has
intended. Okay,
been given. Okay, no, we have to see that what is that. That is what the debugging is important. We need to see what
okay.
it is saying. st dot result.
Right.
Okay, let me see. That is what is saying. Line number 32. The module number 10. st dot success if result. Okay, there only. Okay, at this moment, maybe what I can do is result is there at the top also, no issue. Result is result only. Okay, let it be f is removed at this moment for a moment. Let's see. But is there anywhere? It is not showing here any error. Okay, just
So
refresh.
now it
Oh,
is in a different color, Kalyan. If you observe, if you add that F, it was
oh,
like considering it as a string, it seems.
correct. That might be the case. Let's see. If I refresh, it should come or not. Yes. Okay, no, result is not defined. It is saying result should be defined somewhere, but I have already defined result, I think. Why not it is coming?
Have
Let me
we
check quickly.
defined result in every operation?
That I have to check here. See, in the button, let me go through this. Operation is this, result is this. This is correctly defined. This else is that define the result is already there. Number one minus number two. Here also result is defined. Number one star number two. Number two is not equal to 0. Result is number one by number two. It is there. It is a division operator. If
But
it is not,
Kalyan, you are assigning the values here. It is not like you have defined what is result, right? Do we need to separately define as well? No,
no,
right?
no, 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 not required. Not required.
Yeah,
It should take that input. No, at the
right.
top, I've taken the input. Correct. 0. Okay, let me do the operation first. Then we'll see what is happening or not. Subtraction I'm doing. Okay, I'm just putting 10. I'm just putting 7. Let's see. Yes, there is saying streamlist and no attribute balloons. Okay, might be that is one of the error. Balloons is not there in this version, or it should have. If the balloons is not there, earlier it was there. It's a long back.
Just define on the top result variable.
Okay,
Just see on the top.
at the top you are saying the result variable
Yeah,
to be defined.
yeah.
Okay, okay. 1 second. Result equal to 0. Huh?
Or just yeah.
1 second. But I don't think that is. Is the spelling mistake is there or not? Sometimes in a hurry. Okay. Okay. Or we see result only.
You can put F now. Now you can put before the result string format.
This is there, no? Let's
Try
see.
now.
It is going out. Oh, correct. That is what that it was not defined. 10, then it put 3, then it calculate. You can see, right? Oh, balloons are also, yeah, balloons has a spelling error. So that is coming, right? Now the subtraction, if you can see here, right? 7 and then your second number is 9, right? Are you getting my point? The way that warning and that info is coming. Now, if you support a division, you are trying to do 1 with that
One
particular
minute,
zero.
one and call Ashwin.
Sorry?
Yeah.
Oh, that someone is talking other places. But anyway, so you understood, right? What I'm trying to say here, that according to the Streamlit, you are going to create that app. This is your title. This is your radio button operations, that whatever you want to do, and you enter that particular values, whatever is there. By default, if you are not selecting anything, that's what I'm saying, like that input number or number input have something in a Streamlit, have a provision that you can use this kind of an plus and minus. It is coming by default. So why Streamlit is used? These were wizard. These are wizard means you will get something called a field and something like that. You do not have to recreate it from your own. Okay, getting my point, what I'm saying?
Yeah. So just to reiterate what Mahesh has said, like Streamlit is basically for convenience. You want to showcase your results, your agentic AI result in the visualized format. There is a provision that you can use, but this is not a enterprise level UI library that you can use.
Correct. So try this out. I will be sharing the code is another in a text file. You can take it out and try this out and let me know that what is the different results you are getting. Similarly, with this actions, like you can use different kind of things. Instead of taking an input number, you can try to put a slider or something and try this out and let me know like what are the results you are getting. Okay, you can provide some screenshot also tomorrow when you are coming to the session. Is it okay, everyone? Understood?
Yes, Mahesh.
Okay. Yeah. So thank you so much, team. Today's session, I hope it was very useful. You are getting time till weekend. I would request everyone should try with the calculator, but with not like an input field. I given a task like you can use a slider, you can use something else to take the input. Like there is a number bar, 1 to 10. So you can just put slider and say this is up to 10, this is up to 4, and then you calculate, you get the same number. So there are different ways that you can think of, and with the Streamlit you can try this out and get it done. Okay, let me know next class by some screenshots, that you can also share the screenshots to our admin so that we can know like you are trying the things. Is it clear, everyone?
Yes.
Thank you so much. Chalo, we'll see you on next Monday. Bye bye.
Thank you. Nice weekend.
Bye.